there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MonkeyBoy Presents the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss. And today I'm very excited to bring you the fourth special edition in the series, Killer Croc, one of course, the Batman's greatest villains. He's unique, though, in the Batman universe. He's not really psychotic like most of Batman's villains. He is just a gangster. He started out as just a gangster, basically, nothing more than a muscle man. He's never really been to Arkham except for later on when he really kind of started to lose his mind as he became more animal than man, but he's not like a psychotic, he's not like the Joker or Harley or Two-Face. He's just this big, strong, mean, ugly guy. Real quick, we're going to take a look at the packaging because, unlike Doomsday or Bane before him, his packaging is a little bit different than the normal figures. He comes in a silk case, which you can see here. It has the collection logo on the front along with the seal of approval down in the corner. And then on the sides, both sides, it has some unique artwork featuring Killer Croc there, along with the name of the figure. And that's the only place the name appears. It's not in the magazine, you'll notice. And also a quick side-by-side shot, just so you can see that the special edition figure boxes are a slightly darker color. They're more like a black marble as opposed to the gray of the normal series. Anyway, first, as always, we'll take a look here at the Killer Croc's magazine, which will cover everything we need to know about the figure, the character, everything we need to know about the character, and then we'll look at the figure itself, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. A really outstanding figure here, which you will see in just a short while. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the fourth special edition in the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss, Killer Croc. First up, the character section. And here we find that Killer Croc's real name is Waylon Jones. He grew up in the Florida swamplands, and he was born with a degenerative skin condition. He was shipped off from one school to another, attending reform schools, military schools, and finally just got sick of it and started on a life of crime. So he set up shop in Gotham City and started out as an underworld mob boss there, hiding his face under a trench coat and a hat most of the time. We find that Croc went up against a lot of different mobsters in Gotham. He took on the Falcone family. He even went up against the Joker on occasion. Eventually, he was apprehended and sent to Arkham Asylum. Croc also formed a temporary alliance with Bane at one point in time during the Nightfall storyline after Bane had broken him out of Arkham Asylum. He was eventually rounded up by Robin, Nightwing, and Batman, and this time he was sent off to Blackgate Prison. Croc was later freed from Blackgate during a prison break arranged by Hush and the Riddler. We also learned that for a short time, Waylon was searching for a cure for his degenerating condition. Finally, we learn that Croc at this point has just learned to hate humanity and is continuing to evolve. his condition making him more animal than man with every passing day. Next, we take a look at some of Croc's classic storylines. First up, we have Detective Comics number 523. And this story, entitled Inferno, was the very first appearance of Killer Croc. It's interesting to note, though, that we never actually see the character. He is only ever depicted in silhouette or hidden under shadows beneath a trench coat and a hat. Next up, we have Batman, Nightfall. And this story is most well known for, of course, the crippling of Batman, the introduction of Bane, and the character of Azrael temporarily taking over as Batman. It's also very important for Croc as a character because it established that he was just as strong as Bane. He had acquired superhuman strength while he was tucked away in Arkham Asylum, and his reptilian powers had continued to evolve. We find that after he is severely beaten by Bane at one point, he actually starts to regenerate himself. Next up, Arkham Asylum, Living Hell. And this story took a look inside of Arkham Asylum, basically, showing you what happens in there on a day-to-day basis. It featured a number of different characters, including Croc, and it showed him in a much more frightening light, becoming more animalistic, eating people, and it's also fun to note that we get to see Batman ally and Arkham Asylum guard Aaron Cash for the first time in this story. Next up, we have Batman, Hush. And this story is important to the character because this is the story that introduced the idea that he's further evolving into a more reptilian type of creature. He takes on a much more crocodilian-like appearance in this, growing a snout. His fangs are all exposed now. He has a tail at one point in the story, and he's also growing more intelligent and cunning as well. It's a really great storyline, and very interesting to watch the character evolve. Finally, we have Countdown, number 49. In this story, we find Croc actually out of Gotham City for a change, and in Metropolis, where he comes into contact with Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, who has the ability to gain superpowers. Lots of people don't know this, but he can actually gain superpowers if his life is ever put in extreme danger. So basically, if he thinks he's going to die, all of a sudden he'll manifest superpowers. It's never the same power twice, and he actually goes toe-to-toe with Killer Croc at one point in this really fun story. Next up, we take a look at some of Croc's allies and enemies, and the front page, of course, has the dynamic duo and a great shot of Superman. And the next couple pages feature some really nice shots of Joker, Black Mask, and Bane. Finally, Croc's original thinking section features some of the other nightmarish villains in Gotham City. We get to take a quick look at Poison Ivy. We look at the Scare Beast. It also talks briefly about Clayface, and we learn there have actually been 4 different villains to bear that name. A quick look at the Man-Bat. And finally, we take a look at a character that I think is fascinating, known as Charaxus, formerly known as Killer Moth. Here we have Killer Croc. Really like this figure a whole lot. This is what I'm talking about when I say the special edition figures need to be more detailed than most. That's one of the criteria I have for these figures. Bigger in scale, generally speaking, and outrageously detailed. And he's definitely outrageously detailed. The size I have a little bit of an issue with. I'm glad they didn't make him too big. They made him big enough, but he's not as big as you would think, which you'll see here with the pictures coming up in just a minute. But overall, this guy is outstanding. I love all the little details on him. Love how reptilian he looks. They're not going for the, you know, big, burly, human-esque look like a wrestler with the scaly skin. They went for the more recent version of Killer Croc, where he's further mutating into this beast, this reptile-type creature. So I really love all of the crocodilian aspects of him, like the ridges down his back and the scaliness of his skin, how there are these bone things poking through his elbows on his arms, and the hands are really nice too. Every digit is separated. They did all 5 fingers on both hands individually instead of like fists or, you know, folded arms or just not there at all, like tucked in a pocket or something. So that's a really nice touch as well. All the way down to his feet. And I love the tattered jean shorts that he's wearing also. Sort of Incredible Hulkish in a way. The face is great too. You can see he just has those yellow eyes. I love the sneer on his face, even down to the nostrils. I mean, it's really well done overall. You'll see with some more shots here coming up in just a second. Croc stands atop the DC logo, and the underside of his base features his name in a couple different languages, along with a serial number. Also a quick shot next to the Batman. And alongside some of the other rogues' galleries, so you can see him in scale. I have to say that this is one of my favorite figures in the line so far, honestly. I think the details on him are absolutely outstanding. Could he be a little bit taller? Sure. He could be a little bit larger all the way around, honestly, but the detailing on him is Scarecrow level, honestly. The pose is fantastic. He looks scary, he looks intimidating. The sculpt is really great. His hands are especially nice. The fact that they detailed every single finger, that he's not, he doesn't have closed fists or crossed arms or anything like that. He has his claws ready to go. I really love that touch. The face is also really nice. They did every single tooth in his mouth. You can see his gum line. The yellow eyes are really fantastic. They almost look like they're glowing, like at night, the way crocodile's eyes glow. And the snout, how he almost has like a slight curl to his lip on the one side, like he's sneering. It's really menacing. It's really great, almost like he's having fun causing chaos and stuff. It's really nice. I love the bandages around the hands. The jean shorts are nicely detailed, the way they're tattered and torn, all the way down to the nails on his toes and the scales on his skin. The ridges up his back are especially fantastic. It really looks like a crocodile, and it goes all the way up the back of his head. Fantastic details. Really fantastic. The bad. I have a problem with the size. That's the only major thing I can fault this figure with. He's not quite large enough for me to consider it necessarily special edition. He's bulky though, so that kind of makes up for it. And as I said, the details are outstanding. And the special edition figures generally tend to be the more freakish type of characters as well. They're not something you would see generally in the line. The general line is more of the humanoid type of figures, so he definitely qualifies special edition in that regard. He could just be a little bigger. The only other minor nitpick I have, is the fact that his jean shorts have a belt around the waist, but it's not painted. It's that solid blue. It's nothing. It's a minor nitpick. I just have to find something for the bad category. Come on, give me a break. The ugly. There's nothing ugly on this guy except for the fact that he's ugly to start with. He's outstanding. He's fantastic. He's a must-have if you're a Batman fan. He's a must-have, I think, for the Eaglemoss line here. He's a solid figure. Nothing breakable, nothing bendable. Really looks cool with the other villains, and he looks cool staring down Batman as well. Overall, love it. Love it. Really dig this figure a whole lot. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for a quick teaser trailer of the next figure in the line, going back to the regular issues here with number 33, going back to another hero as well, one of my favorites and one of my brother's favorites as well. So stay tuned for a quick teaser of that. As always, I am your host, the Monkey Boy, aka Jay to his friends. Thanks for watching.